So I'm seeing, a lot of people talking about these mandates that are going on with the C-19, and people being kind of in a way forced to take, the jab to be able to keep their job. Some people have to take tests multiple times a week in order to keep their job. And, people who are, more spiritually based, obviously, chances are that you don't want to take the jab. And you're a bit more conscious of what's going on in our world and the way that they're using manipulation tactics in order for us to take the jab. So, for example, I personally want to go travel to Bali, Indonesia. However, can't go there anymore because they require the jab in order to go there. And so we're looking to go somewhere else where we don't require a jab to do that. All right. Now, obviously, my position is a little bit different than yours because for me, I work from home. I don't need to go into an office or anything like that. And I know a lot of you are working from home now, but some of you are being called back into the work and back into the office and all of this stuff. And so, they're requiring, the jab and to wear the mask and, all of this stuff. And I'm seeing and sensing a lot of anxiety, a lot of pressure, a lot of fear, and a lot of thinking, what can I do now? And so a lot of people wanting to start something for themselves. They want to start business. They want to start, different streams of income. And it's as if the chosen ones and the light workers are being pushed into doing what they're meant to be doing here. And that's sometimes what happens with the yin and yang of life. The negative side, right, will push us into what we're supposed to be doing. So in my life, I was in an industry where it was a little bit, it wasn't necessarily a 100% light work, and it wasn't positive. And, I was helping people with their marketing and business and stuff like that. And it wasn't something that I was necessarily passionate about, but I was making a lot of money from it. And the universe just kept on punching me in the face, until I woke up and I followed the path that I'm supposed to be following. Okay. And for many of you, that's the case. And for many of you, the universe is going to keep on pushing you until you do what you're supposed to be doing, your purpose work. Okay. And the fear for a lot of people is like, they don't realize how much the universe supports you in achieving that when you take that leap of faith. A lot of people, they're sitting on the fence thinking about it, or hope or wish that could happen. I don't know how that's going to happen, rather than taking radical action towards what they want to achieve in their lives. All right. So many of you are being forced to figure out ways of making money for yourself, helping people in the way you don't require, the jab. Okay. Figuring out different ways to source and make income. I had someone recently, manifest $25,000 in my program. Someone recently manifest a couple $100. I have someone recently manifest $8,000. It just keeps on going on. People will keep on manifesting money for doing energy work and healing themselves from my teachings. I have my own healing shifting modality called neutrality shifting, and it's transforming people's lives in really powerful ways. And one of the things that we do is we heal the heart. We work on the heart space. As you probably know, I'm heart-based manifestation. I don't teach ego-based manifestation too much. I do talk about money and building money and all that stuff, but it's like secondary to the 5D creation. I'm actually quite hot in this car without the window open. But these mandates, these rules and regulations and laws, they're not really laws, by the way. Okay, there's a difference between legislation and law. Legislation is not necessarily law, okay, and that's something you have to look into. You want to understand the difference between law of the land and legislation. They are two different things. And so this whole requirement of, doing the jab is not 100, I'm not saying that it's law or legislation. It's not, required. And for a lot of people are still getting the CV. A lot of people are still getting it even though they've got the jab. And so It's crazy, what's going on in this world, and we're all being forced to take it. Why is there so much pressure to take it? Okay, we want to ask ourselves that, and we really want to acknowledge that whenever, there's any sort of manipulation, or, the news saying that you need to do this and this is happening, whatever it is, why do we want to believe in something? Why do we want to believe in these people? We have to understand that there's dark forces out there. We have to understand that there's a spiritual warfare. We have to understand that there's more that goes on in our reality than just, what the people in power say. What we don't realize is that we are actually the ones in power. We don't realize that's the problem. We are so delusional, or we are so programmed to not believe in our power, that we believe we're the ones that's not in power. Because if everyone in the world right now went up against these people, right? What can they do? If everyone just never, submitted to fear, what would happen, right? Yes, you can say, oh, they'll get out the military, they'll get out this, they'll get out that, whatever. But there's still more of us than them. Okay. And so we live in fear, we live in comfort, we live in, being entertained and all of these things. And so we want to start stepping into our power. We want to start stepping into our purpose work. What I'm realizing is a lot of you know what you want to do. Some of you don't know what you want to do. But there's a lot of you that do know what you want to do. But you want to spend all your time figuring that out. Because this whole pandemic or whatever, right? Scamdemic, right? Is perpetuating, it's cultivating within you new ways of thinking. Maybe you're thinking differently about money now. Maybe you're thinking about having an emergency fund. Maybe you're thinking about, like, how can I make money and how can I create multiple streams of income? Maybe you're thinking about, how can I follow my purpose work? Maybe you're thinking about, I need to live in another country. That's me. I need to be living in another country. Right now in London, I'm in London. It's quite warm. Okay, right now I'm quite hot in the car, sitting here to record this video. But I don't like the winter months here in the UK. It's grey skies, and it's grey skies right now, but it's quite warm here. And it's like it's not that I don't like the grey skies. It's just that I know, as a melanated person, I'm supposed to be in the sun. And the sun, obviously generates within the body a hormone called vitamin D. Vitamin D is a hormone, not a vitamin. Okay, and it's very, very good for people of my race. And so, I want to be in a country where it's more spiritual, and where the living costs are a lot lower. So I get the lifestyle, a lifestyle with the money that I generate within my business. I get the lifestyle, low cost lifestyle, but I get more for what I pay. So here, I get a small flat it's quite expensive here in London. Like New York, you probably know New York and how you get a little apartment, little flat, and it costs thousands of dollars to get a little flat. It's the same in London. Okay. And so, I want to have a bigger place, and it's not that I can't. That's the thing. I could move outside of London and get a very nice place, but I don't want to live in the UK. I want to live in a country where there's sun constantly, and using nature and animals, the trees, the plants, fresh air, different food, different people, different energy, different type of people, and so that's what I've been called to do. So I actually moved into the place that I live now during the pandemic lockdown, whatever you want to call it, right? And my intention for moving into this place is just I just wanted to do it. I just wanted my ego just wanted to do it, and I knew my ego wanted to move into this place. It's actually the first time that I was living alone. You know, in the past I've moved in with, you know, partners, and this is the first time I've ever had my own place. And so I just wanted to do that for myself. Not, I could have done that abroad, but for some reason I wanted to do it in London. I don't know, and I did it and I achieved it, and amazing things happened. You know, I spoke to my spiritual mentor and he said, you need to do it. And amazing things happened. You know, I attracted the relationship that I'm in now, my soulmate, and you know, things have opened up in my business. You know, certain things are happening, you know, within my family, and all this stuff has happened. My grandfather passed away and all this stuff, and I could have been in a completely different country, but you know, I think I needed to be here. But I did have the intention of just staying in this flat for a year, 1 year contract, and then moving on to living in another country. Lo and behold, my partner wanted to live in another country as well. And so that's what we're looking to do. We're looking to travel and live somewhere where the living costs are lower, and we're away from all this noise about, you know, all this lockdown and blah, 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 whatever. You know, just eating lots of fruits and vegetables, and, you know, eating well, and, you know, just living, you know, an amazing lifestyle whilst helping people, supporting people in whatever way that we can, in terms of like my knowledge, my experience, and, you know, what I teach. You know, I just live a more, not that I'm not living a fulfilling life now, my life is very fulfilling, but, you know, the environment, you know, could be better. And so I want to change my environment. And so for you, what is it? What is it that you want? What is this calling you to do? Right? Be brave enough, be bold enough to do it. Don't worry about leaving family behind. Don't worry about leaving friends behind. Don't worry. This is your life. This is your life. What are you going to do at the end of your life? Like, we're going to look back and be like, oh, damn, like I wish I'd done this. I wish I'd done that. You know, you don't want that happening, right? We don't know exactly what happens after this lifetime. But I can tell you, why would we want to not make the best of what we have? You know, with the choices and opportunities that we have and what's available to us. And my mindset is, if you can't find a way, make the way. Make it happen. You know, how can you make it happen? What can you do? You know, for me, you know, this whole, you know, traveling thing, I sold a bunch of stuff. I sold clothes. I sold shoes, sneakers. I sold my cameras. I sold equipment. I sold books. I sold all this stuff, and I stacked up 2,000, 3,000 pounds, you know, very, very quickly, just selling the stuff in my house, you know. And so, like, what can you do? Sell your things. Why have you got a TV? Why have you got a phone that costs $100 a month? That's $1,200 a year. What could you put that money towards? That's a ticket to another country and maybe 1 month's rent in another country. For example, in Bali, for $600, that's 1 month's rent. $500, $400 is 1 month's rent. You know, and that's your travel and all that stuff. Like, we have to start realizing you shouldn't be spending $50, $100 a month on, you know, the phone, data, and being on the internet, and being addicted to social media and all this stuff. Where can we save money? Where can we manage our money better? Who can we watch on YouTube who is into money management, like studying, learning, growing, becoming greater versions of ourselves? The pandemic, this whole thing is teaching us something, right? As light workers, as chosen ones, as empaths. And we need to make the choices to move forward and live a more productive lifestyle. So start taking the steps. Take the steps now. One of the steps you can take is get your free energy reading and manifestation diagnosis session from myself. Start learning about your blocks. Start learning about what's holding you back. Start learning how to get into the vibrational frequency of having that reality that you want. Because, you know, once you get to a certain level vibrationally, you know, manifestation, you don't even need to visualize. You don't even need to use all these techniques anymore. You just say, hey, I want this. And for some reason, it just works out because your vibration is operating at that level, like a high level. Okay. And so all the information will be in the description, or you can go to alchemyenergyreading.com and sign up for your free energy reading and manifestation diagnosis session. All right. So anyway, check out this video over here, 3-part series on how to raise your vibration properly and correctly. Okay. And check out my previous video over here on why I deleted all my social media. And remember to keep learning, keep growing, keep expanding, and I'll speak to you soon.